Hi, my name is Abby, and for my problem brief, I want to explore the relationship between biofuels, specifically biofuel policy, and corn in the U.S. or corn supply in the U.S. To provide a little bit of background, what exactly are biofuels? Biofuels are an alternative um, energies or is an alternative to transportation fuel that involves ethanol produced from a biomass such as corn. So ethanol is an eco-friendly fuel source because when it is blended with gasoline, it cuts down on carbon monoxide and other smog emissions. And so this is a solution to global warming because when ethanol is blended with gasoline, it is a source of carbon from a renewable energy source that cuts down on carbon monoxide and other smog emissions. So, what is the economics behind biofuels, or why are they such a problem? I guess you would ask, and what is the economics behind it? Basically, practically all biofuels right now in the world are produced from feedstocks, such as corn, that could be used to produce food, or are produced on land that could also be used to produce food. So in the US, there's a trade off between using corn as food or as a biofuel, and also the land that is used to grow corn instead of growing food that could growing other food sources that could be used to feed our population. And I found this source that says that approximately 5.5 million hectares of agricultural land right now are being used to for bioenergy cropping, and so that's a lot of land that could be used for food and other agricultural purposes. Um, so there are some factors that influence whether we choose to grow the feedstock for biofuels, and that includes the potential amount of marginal land types that may theoretically be available for energy crops, or competition for this land for like housing or conservation or recreation, even, um, or the percentage of marginal land that is feasible to exploit for biomass production. So whether that land is like even able grow um, to grow corn or other feedstocks or other things that are used for biofuels. And then also this land is being like there's competition for this land for other bioenergy products and byproducts. Um, yeah, which I don't have time to go into, but yeah. And so basically, the problem is that using this land or using this corn for biofuels instead of for food raises the prices of corn in the U.S. Which because there would be less corn in the market for food, and so this decreases the quantity and raises the price. So there's big debate about whether this, like, to what extent should we use the corn for biofuels and for this renewable energy to where it becomes bad because we're ending up the market prices for corn shoot way up, and we're ending up paying a lot more than we need to. Um, and so between whether the land right now is used for biofuel or food, a lot of factors go into that, including like the market prices for biofuels versus the market prices for corn, or the prices to grow corn or and like produce it as food versus like growing corn and producing it as a biofuel, and then policy. Europe has already introduced limit to biofuel, to using bioenergy feedstock. But like they put a limit, like you can only use this much corn to use for biofuel, and then the other has to go to the market. And so this would be like one thing that the U.S. could do, or um, we could also encourage people to grow more like diverse range of feedstock. So like, yeah, maybe you could grow a little bit of corn for biofuels, but there's also a lot of other biomasses that could be used to produce biofuels, such as like organic waste, other types of food, starches, sugars. So maybe just diversifying the amount um, of each that is used to biofuels so that overall it's not impacting one market that much. And yeah, also continuing to explore like other ways to produce biofuel out of other things that aren't going to impact the market so much, such as waste or like aquatic plants. I read an article about how they're looking to use aquatic plants to produce biofuels. So maybe like focusing efforts more on trying to figure out ways to get those to biofuels so that the market for corn or supply of corn in the U.S. isn't as hurt by this biofuel renewable energy tactics. Thank you.